Tonight, Attorney General Dana Nessel is getting flack for comments she made last week to a group of liberal activists. In her conversation, Nessel said the 16 Michiganders who are now accused of being fake electors were, quote, brainwashed.
Yeah, that hot mic will get you. We know something about that. In addition, Nessel said the cases will be tried in a very Democratic county, and the jury will be made up mostly of those types of people. Well, the Attorney General's office charged each of the 16 with 8 felonies, and that includes 2 counts of forgery, 1 count of conspiracy to commit forgery, and, of course, election law forgery.
So here with us tonight to discuss this situation is Attorney Lillian Diallo and former Assistant U.S. Attorney Richard Convertino. Thank you both for being here with us. I guess we'll start just with the basics, Lillian. We'll start with you. Your thoughts on these comments?
Well, maybe they weren't as well thought out at the moment. I think what Dana Nessel is trying to say is they're going to be tried in a hopefully fair manner, right? Because that's what I'm about, being fair, right? It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. If you are taking someone to trial, you want them to have the fairest shot that they can. And if it just happens to be in a county that leans, whichever way it leans, that's just what it is.
But do you think, Rick, that it would work in the favor of those being prosecuted against?
Well, it may or may not, but one of the things I just wanted to pick up on William's comment about fairness. There's not a, to be frank and honest, there's not a trial attorney worth his or her weight in salt who doesn't want a partial jury, who doesn't want a jury that's going to favor their side, that's going to be more sympathetic to their facts, that's going to be more sympathetic and favorable for their client. So that's just the truth, you know. It's as old as trials are, that's what we're looking for. Now, to say it is indiscreet and intemperate, and as you pointed out, you know, a hot mic will get you. So I think what she was saying, and I did go back and listen directly in exactly what she said. She described the county as far as the makeup of the potential jurors. She didn't say, this is what we want, this is why we charged it in Ingham County. She did say this is the type of jury that you'll get, a Democratic leaning jury. And maybe that was too far and indiscreet and intemperate, but she didn't say I want an unfair jury, but she does. I mean, that's just the facts.
Given her position, though, do you think that this could lead to some damage? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, so the damage, no, because politics is damaged right now, right? Everybody is partial one way or the other. And I do agree with my counsel right now that's here. Look, we do want people that are going to lean towards where we are. What she said was this is where it's going to be tried. And just because, remember, is Democratic or Republican should not mean that it's unfair on either side. This system is meant to be fair without the partisanship.
I just wonder, is she making things harder on herself? Because now she said, you know, we're going to be in this type of situation. They were brainwashed. If I was looking to defend the people, I'd say, you know what, you're right. They were brainwashed.
Yeah, there's 2 things you need in any criminal trial. You need in the old Latin terms we were taught in Criminal Law 101, actus reus and mens rea. You need intent and you need an act. And if there's no intent, you don't have a crime. So if you write a check out of your account and you think there's money in it, but there's not, and it bounces, is that forgery? Is that uttering? Is that a crime? No, of course not, because you didn't have the intent. And it could be made the same thing here. If these are true believers, these people who believe that they were duly elected or duly appointed electors, now that's far-fetched given the facts and circumstances of this case. These are people who, according to one potential witness, plan to sleep overnight, secretly sleep in the Capitol overnight so they wouldn't be discovered, and then the next day claim that they were the duly appointed electors. So it seems like a far-fetched thing. I just wanted to point out one quick thing. When I was in the Department of Justice, there's a section there called the Child Exploitation and Obscenity section under the Criminal Division. Now, what this section did, obscenity changes. It's like one of the Supreme Court justices said, I know it when I see it. So obscenity is very flux in the term, and to violate the obscenity laws can be a very difficult thing to get a jury to do. a jury in Miami or San Diego is different from a jury in Salt Lake City. What this section used to do was they would have a task force in Salt Lake City that would send out materials that they believed to be obscene, and then they would charge people in Salt Lake City to get a very favorable jury. Now that was the Department of Justice that did that. I don't know if they still do it. They did it when I was there. I was in the organized crime and racketeering section. So this goes on all the time.
Yeah.
It's a type of forum shopping that the prosecution uses, and defense attorneys try and get a favorable jury, and that's what we call voir dire and jury selection. And Lillian can certainly acclaim to that.
Is that fair?
Well, so listen, I don't know. I'm kind of appalled by that whole
you should
thing,
be.
right? But
Yeah.
listen, here are the laws. The laws are here for a reason. Either you broke them or you did not. It's like, I know pornography when I see it, right? That's what you're saying, right? But carjacking is carjacking. And there's no excuse, right? Even if you say, well, that car should have been mine or could have been mine, it's not your car. You took a gun, you took the car away from somebody. No matter what your beliefs are, either you broke the law or you did not break the law. And that's where I am with this, right? Let a jury figure it out.
Well, are you thinking that they're hoping they could be somehow considered like vigilantes, election vigilantes?
What does that mean?
Like that they came in there to save the election that was wrongfully taken? And so in their mindset, I'm right. Listen, there was an election, it got taken away. I am here now to make sure that the right man is in office.
So listen here. The election system
Hypothetically
is
speaking.
hypothetically, right? The election system has been going on forever and ever and ever. So it takes one 48-month cycle to all of a sudden make it a different way. I do not believe in that. I believe in what the law is. We have to live with the results of elections, 2016, 20, 24, and beyond and below.
All right, Lillian and Rick, thank you both.
Thank you.